Good evening, folks. Welcome to tonight's episode of the Rattler Roundup Podcast. I'm JPeeps, and tonight with me, I got Han Super joining me. So what's going on, man?
What's going on, man? Just chilling, trying to hang in there, man. I'm glad to be on the pod, man. I actually my first time on a pod, but I'm glad you had me.
Hey, man, definitely. Man. I'm glad to have you on here too, as well. So how's life after football been treating you?
Life after football has been pretty good, honestly. Honestly, I feel like I've been preparing for it. Even some years I could have played football. Like my last year of football, I didn't play that. I was already kind of deciding that's the route I wanted to go. Focusing on life after football. So honestly, since about like 2019, it's life after football has been in the works. Done a lot of schooling. Staying up here in Atlanta. Being at the CDC and everything. I feel like it's farewell for me. Pretty much. But I feel like I was destined for it. But I'm glad that FAMU gave me that stepping stool. But life after football has been pretty good.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. What's up, Brian? So
BJ.
my question is, since you work at the CDC, what all they got up in there? I know they probably got some diseases that mankind has never even heard of or seen before.
So CDC, man, CDC is a big place. Like, I know a lot of people, they hear about it, they think, straight laboratories, just straight laboratories. But there are labs there. A lot of the labs, if I'm not mistaken, for the most part are like underground. Like, so like, if you go in the elevator, a family kind of has them too. Like you have like low floors. So
Mm.
there's some labs down there, but there's the main part of the CDC are is really admin. Uh, so for instance, even my department, like I worked in overdose prevention, and the CDC is basically a health department, a federal health department for the nation. So other things that like we do is fund the state health departments, each state health department in the U.S., and then the state health departments, pass out the money or allocate the money to the rest of the state. So there's CDC's like so broad, anything health related or any type of thing like that with federal funding, they pass it down. So, but there are also some things like that with some biologists and chemists, in the works with things, but it's not as it is a little secretive, like because certain stuff I don't know, but I wouldn't say it's as big as people think. There is like, you can't get in there. You can't even if you're with somebody that works with them, you can't get in. Uh, they don't really let Ubers or anything in. It's a gate
Wow.
guarded. Not to get too far off, but there was a situation about a month ago, maybe 2 months ago, up here where a guy was upset about the vaccine or something of that sort, and he from like across the street or like across the way shot, you know, at the CDC. And I guess he hit like window or something. He ended up killing a cop, and they ended up killing him. But that was
Wow.
the whole thing. We had to stay at home for a while, but he never got inside the CDC because it's always guarded 24/7. Even now, it would be guarded, but. Yeah, man, it's some, it's some crazy stuff going on, man.
That's wild, dude. That's crazy. What's going on, little baby 245? What's going on? So first things first, I want to get into is also I wanted to ask you, so because I know you played for Coach Simmons as well, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So I just wanted to ask, because I ask everybody this because it seems like everybody that's been on here has gone through a period with transition. I just want to ask, like, for you, what was it like going from Alex Wood to Willie Simmons?
For me personally, I feel like the culture was a little bit, I think, more relatable, I think, with Simmons, and also they did a lot of things like recruit a lot better. Like he was more in tune with like the Florida culture,
Mm.
as opposed to Coach Wood. It felt like him and the other coach were just from somewhere else, and it was a little militant with Coach Wood, but also I think at times with some of the coordinators, the X's and O's just it just wasn't there. Uh, I would say Coach Wood, I would give him credit with being he's a very organized guy, like itinerary. He's pretty much on schedule with everything. But he may have not have necessarily been the best fit, but I think he came in on probation, if I'm not mistaken. So
Yeah, I believe so.
so I think everything was he was more focused on, I guess getting the APR back right, and the things, I guess, outside of football. But you got to win games, and you got to do those things. But he some at times he I feel like he was fair in a lot of sense. Sometimes he could be quick to judge, but I felt like if you worked hard, eventually you'd win him over. But yeah, it's totally different. I think with Simmons, it was a little bit more relatable, even if even with both coaches, there were things I didn't agree with necessarily. But I think all in all, they had their points. But yeah, man, I think Simmons was a little bit more in tune with his players.
And that's been the consensus of everybody that's come on here that's played under both, honestly, which is, and that's a good thing. That's what you want in a coach, honestly. Yeah, APR was and is a big issue. Yeah, it still is. It still is. It's I'm still trying to figure it out with the whole like the transfer portal and everything and stuff and all that. Like it's a big mess. And then now you got kids that you're allowing them to gamble and stuff. Like that's getting passed as well. Plus NIL. So
Yeah, it's getting wild.
It is, man. So one other thing before we do get into what we're all here for to talk about, of course, is the AD spot is rumored to have been filled finally. And so they brought in boy, I think I gotta figure out his name again. Jeez. Oh my goodness. I do want to get him on here because I want to ask him a couple of questions. Jeez, what was his name? John F. Davis. Yeah, John Davis is his name. So a couple of things about John Davis here. And I know the title right there was What Makes Him Qualified to Be an Athletic Director Anywhere? Let's look at it. So currently, he was the secretary of the Florida Lottery. He played football at Florida State from 89 to 92 under Bobby Bowden, which I'm not going to lie. Like, you look at his stats, like he was nice. He was nice. He has a bachelor's in political science. He served as the president and led the African American Chamber of Commerce in Central Florida, Volunteer Florida, FAMU College of Law Dean's Advisor Council, Heart of Florida United Way, and Chronic Homeless Committee. So those were all like the things that he worked with, those last four right there. And he's rumored to be named the athletic director. So, Hans, I ask you, man, what on this list right here, outside of his football career, makes you say, yeah, he's an AD?
Honestly, I don't see anything. I mean, now I I really have questions. Was it like I mean, was it appointed by a group, or was it directly appointed by like a president? Like how is the AD appointed? Is it
So this, I believe Ron DeSantis wanted him to be in there because, again, you've heard about Angela Suggs, correct?
Mm.
Yes or wait?
Say it again?
You heard about what happened with
Yeah.
Angela Suggs, right? Yeah. So, like, in comes this guy, and I think just because he played football at Florida State, I think that's why they're trying to like push him into the job and everything. Because I've heard they wanted Derek Brooks, but Derek Brooks is also oversees like the rules committee, and he's the person that determines if you're getting suspended in the NFL or not, and for how many games. So, plus
Mhm.
he wanted to work remote as an AD, which does not work.
Yeah.
But yeah, like this was a decision by Ron DeSantis and that board of trustees that put Marva Johnson in there. And quite honestly, you know, I just don't. I don't see how this is going to work. I don't.
I mean, I'm trying to see the logic behind it. I mean, do they think he's a good like a business guy or something? Like how? Yeah, I honestly can't figure it out. You know, I try to give the benefit of the doubt. He's never coached or anything. No.
Mm-mm. Never coach. The only coaching he's done is probably sat in a meeting room with Bobby Bowden and Mickey Andrews. That is it.
Yeah, I've been a little. I haven't been that detached from school, but I've seen a lot of, I don't want to call it unwarranted, but just a lot of things, a lot of decisions from the higher ups that tends to rub people the wrong way.
Facts.
And rightfully so. None of these things are, you know, I don't want to get into the whole, I guess, president thing, but a lot of people seems to have the same idea that, no one asked for this, or, if a person's appointed, you would think a lot of, if the person's appointed, you would think like a lot of the others like would agree because, they appointed them. But I'm not seeing any of that at FAMU now. It seems like, one person or a couple of people are like, pulling all of the strings. And I'm not even sure how much, because I'm not that much into politics, but I don't know how much the census should, I guess, play a role in AD at FAMU.
I'm
Maybe.
honestly, I didn't think that the governor had. Well, he has power, but I didn't think he had like this much power to where he could just go and put someone in the AD chair and everything like that. But it's just, I see this and I'm just like, oh my gosh, I'd rather AD Suggs come back and everything. But you know, it's crazy, man. Let's see. I don't see anything that says he'll generate money for the athletic department. I agree. I agree because that's my thing about this. I've said it to some people. What is your 10-year plan, or what is your 5-year plan? What's your 10-year plan? Where do you see the school in 2030? Where do you see the athletic department in 2035? How can you generate money? How can you take care of the student athletes? How can you get them what they need on a daily basis? Because
Mhm.
I'm sure Hans, like there are things that you Bishop, Chad, y'all probably wish that y'all had day to day when y'all were in school.
Yeah, correct. I honestly, and I feel like FAMU isn't the smallest school in the world. I feel like it shouldn't be a first time thing you've done anything football related in admin when you get to FAMU. There's a lot of smaller schools out there, that could probably take that risk and hire some of these people. But I don't think FAMU has to take the risk. Even at, let's say, Florida State's a bigger school, but their first time doing anything football related wouldn't be when they get to Florida State. So I think there are a lot of Division 3 schools, Division 2 schools that you can get some type of admin work, even a guidance counselor, like something like So I'm
Facts.
I'm not I'm not even sure you know the justification behind it. There's a lot of people, in my opinion, with this resume to be able to do it because it's not football related. A lot of people have resumes that aren't football related. So uh yeah, I don't understand how he got handpicked or how he even got brought up. Maybe he knows probably knows some people obviously. Uh
Hmm.
but I don't know. Did he put his name in together? Like he applied for it? I mean, I don't know if it's obvious that he applied for it.
Honestly, I don't even think anybody really even applied for it because
Mhm,
it was in limbo. Like she was on leave, and
mhm,
then it was just like, okay, is she gonna come back? Is she not gonna come back? Like, what's gonna happen? Because I was under the impression that she was gonna come back if she was seen at the Florida State FAMU basketball game over at the Civic Center. I think it
mhm.
was this past Sunday. She was sitting down with Marva, like just talking and just vibing and chilling and everything. And then all of a sudden Monday, this comes out, and now you're like, oh boy.
Yeah, I'm trying to get the words, man. I like to give everyone the benefit of the doubt. But it's tough when you see things like this, and they're not making it hard for people to for people to rebuttal. Like there's obvious reasons for this. I'm I honestly don't have a lot of words for it. I'm confused a little. Honest, I'm a little confused. Uh,
Hmm. This is a big one. Are those folks going to donate dollars to athletics? Probably not. They should. They need to. If they want to put their people in and they want to keep doing it, they need to donate to it. He won't last 2 years. Sheesh. Yeah, no, I could see that too. Because FAMU, they'll get somebody up out of there.
mhm, mhm.
Let's see what we have. What else do we got here? I don't see it working either. I see a new AD in 2027 at least. Hmm. Having an AD with FSU ties could be favorable to the current football coach. Oh snap! We'll get into it. We'll talk about it. One thing is for certain: Coach Colsey will more than likely get to finish out his contract. I'm sure he'll benefit from this hire. Yeah, he just might. I mean, look now. The thing, hey, the last 2 weeks have been impressive. If he wins this weekend, he's definitely on his way to finishing out his contract.
Mhm.
Regardless of how we finish the season. So now we know definitely that the Satan is heavily involved with FAMU. Oh yes, dude, 100%, 100%. I'm sure that the current interim is going to be asked to do much more of the heavy lifting for a while. I thought he has select number of months. I could be wrong though. Why doesn't he play with FSU or UF's ADs? FSU's ADs and doing the greatest job with him having a 10-year contract to a coach who's less than mid. Yeah, that's true too. Because she's talking about Mike Norvell. Yeah,
Mhm.
because they never should have given Norvell that contract, but they were so afraid to lose him to Alabama, which honestly I would have let him go if I'd have known this is how it was going to go.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, you don't know how it's gonna go. They like even everyone you start doing good. Indiana's like we're not taking any chances. They gave their coach this big extension. If you want them, you gotta pay for it.
Yeah,
So, but I mean, Florida State that was crazy. I mean, they had a good season, but man, you probably need 2 years to see. But if they would, I don't know if Alabama would have tried to send them. Maybe.
I do like Alabama did like he was one of the top like guys they want. It was either him or Kalen DeBoer. And then I
Mhm.
remember Florida State came out of nowhere with that contract after like 2023, and then they just went with Kalen DeBoer, and I was like, okay. Couple other things too. We had volleyball over the weekend. Ooh, let me get rid of that bottom ticker real quick. So as you see with the recap, women they won in 3 sets over UAPB. Uh, Urizel Rodriguez and LaDonna Trantham both had 13 kills. Taylor had three aces. Taylor also had 33 assists. And then blocks, Coleman had 2, and LaDonna Trantham had 8 digs. And then in the game against Grambling, they won 3-1. LaDonna Trantham had 18 kills. Whitfield had one ace. And then Taylor had 34 assists. And then Farouk had 8 blocks. And then Whitfield had 10 digs. So impressive.
Yeah, man, volleyball team, man. that's been one of the consistent teams, man, since I was there. Volleyball team's always been good. I follow them. Baseball's been good too, but volleyball, man, it's like if they don't win the conference, it's pretty disappointing, and it's usually them and someone else just because they're so consistent. They have these, I guess we have these high expectations for them.
Yeah, yeah, no, they're always in it, man. They opened up the season playing, tough competition, and rightfully so. I mean, like, and I do feel like it's going to benefit them as they go along in the season, especially once they get to the SWAC tournament and everything. Because now it's like, okay, they're battle tested. I feel like now they're starting to get their bearings as well. And obviously too, this weekend on Halloween night at 6 p.m. they play Alabama State, and then November 2nd, the day after the FAMU Jackson State game, they play Alabama A&M at 12 p.m. So 2 games in between that FAMU Jackson State game this weekend. So for those of you that are making your way to Tallahassee, go. You got 3 days to go check out, FAMU football, FAMU volleyball, all back to back to back. So it's going to be a good weekend once again. Plus it's senior day as well. So definitely, get to Tallahassee. That's right. I got to send you the link too for the it's like a players thing where you can like sign up and then like you get sideline access.
Yeah, I need to do that. I thought I seen some players on the. So I'm like, yeah, I need that. I don't stay too far from Tallahassee.
Yeah, I'll send it to you. Yeah, once we wrap up this evening, I will definitely send it over to you for sure, man.
Appreciate that.
Um, of course, man. Also, too, a couple other things. So, FAMU women's volleyball, not volleyball, FAMU women's basketball gets underway November 5th. Oh my gosh, I feel like I have that wrong. Ooh. Well, November 5th, they play Valdosta State at the Lawson Center, 5 p.m. But then November 3rd, coming up, they play Florida State at the Civic Center. So 2 big games coming up. And then you've also got Charlie Ward, FAMU men's hoops. So they did lose to Florida State 88-54. The next game will be here in Tampa on November 3rd at the Yingling Center at 8 p.m. against USF. I'm thinking about going to that. I'm thinking about going to it.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, it's the score, I will say, did not indicate how close it was at certain points in the first half, because my thing was, and yes, I only watched the first half, but it was a great showing against FSU. I watched it and I was like, oh, they're moving the ball around, pushing the floor. It's just, I think Florida State was a little more obviously deeper, consistent, more well-rounded as a team. But I do look at it and I say, if this team gets into conference play, I think they have a chance to really, make some noise and shock some people.
Yeah, I think. I mean, I'm all for hoops, man. I haven't been following as much as I should. I did see something about the retiring for the coach jersey they're gonna have at FSU or something like that. Did they
Yeah,
have that?
yeah, they retired Charlie Ward's jersey
Mhm.
before the game. So like he's like the first player to ever play for Florida State that's had his jersey retired in 2 sports. Like not even Dion's done that.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, man, that's great. I'm excited to see him. I mean, you guys said it was a great showing. I mean, we there's been a couple years and that I feel like the basketball team, even though they didn't win the conference when I was there, they competed, especially in those big games. I mean, I still follow some of the players. I see them sometimes playing overseas and things like that. So I'm
Really?
excited to see it. Yeah, I like anything FAMU, man. Any sport, especially when we're competitive. I like to see it. Especially some of the earlier games against some of these bigger schools. They show a lot on TV, so I'm gonna be tuned in this year.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. Yeah, I didn't know. Like I knew a few of them played for the Savannah Bananas. I knew that.
That's a basketball team.
No, well, as far as baseball goes,
Oh,
my bad.
baseball.
But yeah, it's like a imagine how do I put it? Imagine like geez, what am I thinking? Harlem Globetrotters. Imagine
Mm.
that, but like in the form of baseball, or like
Yeah, yeah.
imagine like a
I see them
circus,
always
but
dancing. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
because like they sold out Ray J. They sold out the Titan Stadium, Nashville Stadium, or
Mhm.
not Nashville, Nissan Stadium in Nashville. Like they sold out a lot of stadiums. So like seeing FAMU guys on there, man, it's good. Those guys are doing their thing and everything. So wonderful to see.
Yeah, I mean we got people everywhere. Even if you don't know, you'll see, and then there'll be somebody from family. I know I see, the players I play with, they be in the league, and then they'll take pictures with other people, even in coaching or admin. I'd be like, I didn't know, I don't even know these people. They went to FAMU, all of them, took pictures after. We definitely have a lot of people out there. Even up here, I seen so many people just around. Me. I have the license plate. Just we're everywhere, man. So it's always it's always good to see, man. Everybody's doing good. Uh,
Facts. Let's see what we got here. So also, FAMU men's basketball got money for ticket sales for men's basketball NIL. Nice. Okay, I didn't know that. That's good. That's good. Also, speaking of NIL, I also want to go ahead and share this as well. I'm glad EA mentioned um, NIL. So let me see, where is it? Let me find it. Oh, I know where I got to go to get it because I should have shared this already. Um, so I'm not sure if you're familiar already with FAMU's collective, but Fang Exchange is it's. Oh, whoops, where'd he go? Oh no, did we lose him? Oh my goodness, I think we lost him. Oh boy, I hope he comes back. Well, all right. Oh wait, there we go. Okay.
I'm not sure what happened with that.
Oh, you're good, man. But yeah, like I was saying, yeah, like so, Fang Exchange is FAMU's NIL collective. So this is run by Ashley and Tashe from and Fang Exchange, and you can also catch their podcast every Thursday on YouTube. It'll be streamed on YouTube, Twitter. So by all means, I'd say like, share, and subscribe to their channel. Hit them up. I know they have like different ways of giving. You can give as low as I want to say $10. You can give as high as up to $200, I believe. And it's like a repeated giving thing and stuff. It goes straight towards the student athletes. So my job here is and I don't touch the money. I just want y'all to know that I don't touch the money, but it goes to a worthy cause to help those athletes out. So Hans, like I told Bishop, and like I was telling Terrell, and even like I told Ryan, like I know y'all probably wish there was something like this going on back when y'all were playing that could have like gone towards benefiting you guys.
Well, uh, I know when we played, I know they still have like a FAMU foundation type thing. When I was playing in the summer, football would pay, and from people doing it, football would pay for one class, and then gave you like room and board in the summer. Because a
Hmm.
lot of people don't have like summer school, like the school can't fund it. But me
Hmm.
specifically, I had two majors, so uh, the other classes you were supposed to. If you took more than one, you had to pay out of pocket for the other ones. But FAMU, they paid for. I took three classes. They paid for all of them, and it was really donors covering my classes, covering my classes for me to finish. Help with APR and stuff. So I don't even know where like who specifically paid, but there was a some type of pot people can donors could put money into, and they paid for my classes in the summer. So I'm grateful for that. So that
Wow.
was all. There was something that was around. I'm not. It wasn't exactly this, but uh, alum has been giving for quite a bit some time. We just don't always see it or know what's going on.
Right. Right. Damn, I didn't know you were two majors. Dude, respect, man.
Yeah, undergrad. Yeah,
Oof.
two majors. Yeah.
Man, shoot, you better than me, cause oof. One was enough.
Yeah, it was tough. I was taking like, we're playing football, I was still taking like, 17, 18 credit hours a semester and stuff like that. But, I ended up making it through. And then the summers helped. The
Mm.
summers helped push through. But yeah, man, I was always heavy on classes, and I had, science major. So I had a bunch of like labs, which was only 1 credit hour, but it took up so much time. So I was pretty busy at my time at FAMU.
Dude, respect, man. Respect. All right. So the next thing on the ledger for this evening is, of course, going. Well, let me share the Rattler of the week because I know you're a running back, so I know you like to show love to other running backs as well. So Rattler of the week this week goes to Jamal Haley. 19 carries, 157 yards, 3 TDs. He could have had 4 TDs in total. It's just, RJ Johnson didn't check down to him on a pass. Instead, threw the fade route that was incomplete, resulted in a 3-point try. You could have got 6 there if you just threw it to him, but he could have 4 total touchdowns. But this was his stat line.
Yeah, he carried. He carried, man. He carried, man. That's great to see, man. And that's amazing, man. I hope him specifically is a great job, but even for the team, that's a great morale boost. Like I'm not sure how good Southern was. I heard they had problems with their head coach or whatever. So some people won't put much stock into the win, but man, winning and losing is contagious, man. You just need to see it, and then it could be, one win or one loss can be a big turning point in the season. So I'm excited for this week.
Yeah, same, man. Same. And well, actually, first, before we go to that, she said, little baby said, man, I did more than 15 hours and lost hair. I said, never again.
Yeah,
God,
man.
y'all should come to chiropractic school.
it could be tough, man. You gotta just being on that schedule. You gotta be locked in the whole semester. Yeah, that discipline, man.
Let's see. Kylan said, Hans, did you find it difficult to split carries for a rhythm and feel standpoint? Or from a rhythm and feel standpoint? Okay.
I would say, not necessarily. Sometimes when you feel like you have it going, you want to stay. And I think a lot of times where a coach will see that and keep you in. I don't think I did. Maybe I did. But I don't actually know. I just know, I came into the mindset that I knew we were splitting carries, and it's just the way it is. And I'm just, gonna make the most of it. A lot of times, I'm not the biggest person. I'm bigger than some of the other backs, but I'm not the biggest person. So, it could save you from being hurt and injured. And there's not even a lot of teams. There's not a lot of teams this day and age that's only have one that has one back, unless they happen to be All American or something like that. Then they run it. But I don't.
Unless
I
you're
don't
Derrick
think so.
Henry.
Yeah, yeah. Unless you're Derrick Henry. Yeah. I guess sometimes it could from a rhythm standpoint, if you have it going, it could mess it up. But also, when you get in there, you feel like every rep you're at 100% instead of 80%. So I think splitting carries is, I think, most beneficial. But when you have that guy that's going off, you wanna keep him going.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, 'cause it seems like Haley just needs more carries because he did get stronger as the game progressed. Because he had a heck of a day, man. That was huge because he got the first one and then like he broke the second one, and I was like, and then he got the third one, which was like the longest run. And I was like, oh snap. I'm like, dang, I was like, okay, the running game finally, caught wind. Because
Mhm.
I had been wondering all year. I was like, and even Bishop too, because Bishop was frustrated. I wish Bishop would have been here tonight because I was gonna tell, because like Bishop said that Haley had no vision, and I wanted to tell Bishop, I was like, yeah, I think he heard you. because he sure had vision this week.
You never know what's going on, man. Like sometimes, even spectating, even though we play running back, we think we know what's going on, but sometimes it could be that the person. Sometimes you can trust O line or trust something. It could be a missed block, or it could be I don't know. You just never know, man. And it's just when we play, people used to always have their comments who played before, and we just be like, they don't know what they're talking about. Like they're not, in that huddle. So it's hard to just say that. And I understand that. Sometimes we think we played and we just know, the whole story. But and everyone has bad games and things like that, man. Like I said, when we were losing, the morale was just, bad, and we just played bad. But this could spring something. He might, that might turn him into one of the best backs in the conference just to get a game like that.
Yeah.
You know, it's all about momentum, or morale per se. So I think he'll be all right. What is it? 19 carries.
Yeah, it was 19 carries, 157 yards, and 3
Mhm.
touchdowns.
Yeah, yeah, he had a day, man. I just think coaching. Uh, I guess they seen it because he's splitting carries by how many backs? Like a couple. Is it a couple backs that play?
It's so you got Bo Somerset, and then you had Thad Franklin
Mhm.
as well. But Thad
Okay.
had his turf toe started to linger and bother him, so
Mhm.
he didn't play that game, or
Mhm.
he didn't after he got like I want to say maybe a couple carries in the first, and then we didn't see him afterwards. But we saw a lot of Bo Somerset, and we saw a lot of Jamal Haley. But Jamal Haley's like he's a burner, dude. He's like I want to say like a 4-3 type guy.
Yeah, that's nice, man. As long as coach can, early peep that hot hand, because you still want to be able to, switch it up, uh, so the defenses can see multiple things because you never know. Next game can be bold. You think you're okay. This guy's better than another guy, but really it's just, it could just be that game.
Hmm.
But just at first, just giving them a dose. Both of them, obviously, you have a game like that, you probably should be starting off the game, next game. But just keep switching it up, and whoever has the hot hand, just keep feeding them. If they're if they have a good relationship and a running back group, then it shouldn't be a problem.
Right, right. And now going actually, let me first. What stat should I go to? Let me go to this one. So this is currently the SWAC East standing as it stands right now.
Mhm.
So Jackson State sits there at 3-1. Alabama State sits there at 3-1. Bethune sits there at 3-1. FAMU's there at 2-1 currently. And big game this weekend between first place and fourth place right now.
Mhm.
And it's gonna be a lot closer, more interesting than people are giving it credit for.
Mhm.
Because back in September, I would have said, there's no way, no how, you know, put it to sleep. But now it's like after seeing the last 2 weeks and seeing this team, now again, granted, they've been bad teams, yes. But seeing at the way at which it's been, these games have been won and the amount of points that have been scored, it makes you kind of wonder, like, oh, okay, we got something to work with here. So, again, 5-2, 3-1. They come to Tallahassee into your house, 7 p.m. kickoff against FAMU, who's 3-4, 2-1. Now, mind you, as well, their starting quarterback, Jacobian Morgan, he did leave the game about like at the 5-minute mark in the first quarter last week out in Vegas.
Mhm.
He came back in a walking boot and on crutches, and they said in the interview with TC Taylor, they were going to meet with the doctor Monday to get a diagnosis. But I think you and I both know if you're in a walking boot and on crutches on Saturday, you ain't playing the next Saturday.
Is he a mobile quarterback?
Uh, he can be. Yes, he's mobile. He's mobile. He can throw as well.
Mm. Is he okay? Mobile was is he a running quarterback or is he more of a pocket quarterback?
Mm.
or a little bit of both?
Yeah, he's like a little bit of both. I want to say like 50-50 because like he can sling it too, but he'll
Mhm.
also like he'll keep it because he did have a rushing touchdown in that game last week in Vegas.
Yeah, I think, man, playing hurt is not it's not ideal. Especially if they can get the quarterback out of the pocket, like have him running and things like that. If he's probably not playing, but if he was to play, how was the backup?
I'm glad you asked. So here it is. Where is it at? Here we go. Um so they actually played two backups last week against Grambling. So they had, and actually here we go right here. Lockhart is more of a pocket, but he can't. This is also true. So looking at it last week, you had Jarrett Lockhart who came in the fourth quarter with like 10 minutes left. 3 of 8, 96 yards, one touchdown pass. And then the guy who came in immediately after Jacoby Morgan went down, he was, oh my goodness, where's it at? Parker Stofa, 7 of 12, 91 yards, no TD passes, no interceptions at all. And and then he also had 5 carries for 15 yards. And then also Jarrett Lockhart had 7 carries for 44 yards and one touchdown as well. So both can run. I will say the better passer of the two is Lockhart, but at the same time too, they didn't really find a good consistent rhythm passing downfield.
Mhm. So it seems like the second guy is going to be the third string moving forward, maybe.
Yeah.
Because it's not really a good sign if you play two different backups. I guess the guy they thought was the guy they get the guy they played, they thought he was the better quarterback. It's different from practice and live game. But just because that quarterback had a good game, that does not mean he's gonna look that good next game. Uh, the defense didn't prepare for him. It was a new look. And Lockhart is like you said, both of them, the starter and Lockhart are more pocket.
Yeah, the
Mm,
starter and Lockhart, they're more pocket guys,
mm,
honestly. Like, but
mm,
Morgan can run, Lockhart can run as well. But
mm,
both, I want to say, like, if you're gonna live and die by something, I would rather FAMU's defense force Lockhart to
mm.
pass.
Okay. Yeah, I think it'd be if he plays, I think it'd be different, man. It's like when you coming in there fresh and like no one's prepared for you, it's one thing, but guys are gonna prepare for him now. He has a bunch of expectations. Everyone's gonna be coming up to him like, oh yeah, you got this, man. You got this. So it's gonna be a lot of pressure. So
Hmm.
we'll see how he handles it, man. It's a lot tougher than things, especially at the quarterback position. You gotta know what everyone does on top of dealing with the outside stuff. I'm sure he's probably gonna have to talk to media and stuff like that. Like everyone's gonna be on him. So we'll see how he handles the pressure. That's for FAMU, that's a good position to be in, knowing that he hasn't been used to this all season, and now he's getting this all of this attention and things like that, and he's probably wasn't staying with coach for that long throughout the season. Now all of a sudden he's a freshman. Okay. Oh,
Yeah, both of
that's
them are.
even
Park.
better now. Yeah, freshman. See, is that's a big stage. That's a lot of expectation as a freshman. He probably gonna be nervous as hell. Like so we'll see. We'll see. It's not always I'm not sure about how it is this year, but playing at FAM wasn't always, the easiest thing. Playing at Doak not all that easy sometimes. So we'll see. We'll
Yeah,
see. I think this is a good chance for FAMU. FAMU's in a good place. If they want to make some noise, then it's not a much better opportunity playing against a freshman quarterback in his first real start. So if
yeah.
if he plays, but it's either going to be him or a dinged up quarterback. So you want everybody at the best, but at the same time, this is the situation that you're given, so you better take full advantage of it.
So you said folks are gonna think I'm delusional, but FAMU by a TD. We're going to play much better. Honest, hey, I could see it. I could see it. The more we get closer to it, that's what I feel like it can be. I actually just watched that game. I haven't finished it. I got like 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter left to go watch still. But so far just watching it, dude, seeing their Parker Stofa, who they put in right after Jacoby Morgan went down, he can't throw. He only had one pass completed for like over 15 yards, I want to say. He only had one. And he played the whole second quarter, most of the third quarter. Like, it was a lot of just missed opportunities, man. Oh,
Well,
here's one. Oh, my bad. You go ahead. Go ahead first, and we'll bring this one
all
back.
right, yeah. If you're the second screen and they take you out and play a freshman, like, it's bad. It's well, the other one was a freshman too, but it is bad because they already know they're on their last quarterback probably, or last quarterback that may be dressed. You dress through quarterbacks at most.
Yeah. Because,
Yeah.
both of them are freshmen.
Okay. I read this comment here. It says
Oh, go ahead.
Hans share with the audience the mindset needed to play and maintain a high GPA in a tough curriculum major. Man, honestly, man, I think, man, you got to be locked in an entire semester. I think it's it's tough, uh, but if you're consistent the entire semester, I think it's really a lot of people can do it, whether they think they can or not. I would say at the beginning of the semester. Uh, Now, granted, I did a lot of when I took a break from football, I was doing school. When I took a break from school, I was doing football. But that's just doing two majors. But even doing one major, man, a lot of the things people uh they mess up is waiting to that first test to kind of trying to cram everything in and get all that knowledge, man. If you start off fast and read, like people don't really read it, like, oh, what's on the test? You know, I'm gonna try to answer this, or I'm just trying to get the answer to find out what's going to be on the test. And the thing about that is you'll get some of the answers, but you don't know why that's the answer. So if they switch the terminology up and phrase the question in a different way, if it's not verbatim what you studied, you're not going to know. But so a lot of people just read to remember. They don't read to like actually understand what's going on. So I think if you start off fast by reading to understand what's going on, I think you'll be all right. And then building relationships, with the teacher, man. There's some teachers that would be friends with you and feel you, but it's hard. It's hard, man. If they like you, or if you're
Mhm.
talking to them, if they know you're serious about it, you'll be all right. And I think people it's easy for people to like veer off and do other things, but just if you're staying on top of your readings and stuff like that, I think you'll be all right. Because in college, what do you really need to do in college? You can go to parties, but it's like there's not a whole bunch to do in Tallahassee. You know, you can get distracted easy and end up playing the game, or just chilling with friends for a long time. But man, if you don't put anything over your reading and studying, I think you'll be fine. It's just I think consistency is the toughest thing in my opinion, just because you can do it for 3 straight weeks. It's like working out. You can do it for 3 straight weeks. The 2 days you missed now it became a habit. Now you're completely thrown off. So I think consistency is the biggest thing. Yeah, yeah. People consider me smart and things like that, but I worked really hard and I was really consistent with school.
So let me ask you this now. How did you when did you take time to rest your mind? Like, how did you, because you said you're double major, you're playing football,
Mm,
where does rest and sleep fall into that?
mm. So I would be honest. like sometimes there's times you can balance. There's some times where you might have to sacrifice some sleep, but that was when finals came out and everybody was sacrificing sleep. So I didn't really sacrifice my sleep more than anybody else because everyone stayed up when it was finals. I just
Mm.
knew a little bit more going into the finals. So when it ended up happening, when the finals ended up happening, I knew a little bit more than everybody else. But honestly, man, just building the schedule, man, I think my whole day I would have planned like I know I'm spending this much hours on this class and this much hours on this class because a lot of times you can get sidetracked, and if you go off your schedule, it can really mess you up. You end up on one thing for too long, and man, just I think what helped me the most is that's when we're balancing football and school is just honestly flipping in between subjects, like letting my eyes see different things. Like, yeah, I couldn't get. Let me just get back to this later. Let me just do this. Honestly, it worked wonders for me. Just resetting and doing something else and doing something else. Although a lot of times I worked or studied a lot. Like just flipping between different things really helped me, letting my eyes see different things. But I think a lot of people have time at the beginning of the semester, in the middle of the semester. Like a lot of people, you have a lot of time. It's just you don't use that time wisely, so you end up costing you later on. And I didn't really. I may have studied a little more than you, but not too much. I just balanced it out in the correct way to, that's just the difference between the A and the C most of the time, just staying on top. So
Yeah,
that's really all it was for me.
I hear you. Let's see. Is it hard to focus in study hall? I know some athletes that hate it because they don't feel like they can focus.
Uh, Study hall it's changed, right? So we used to have it in the library with wood. I think later they started doing it in maybe Gaither Lab. Some people were doing it in Gaither Lab. I'm not sure. But for me, man, study hall, what would I guess the question would what would make it hard? Is it too much noise? Like why would it be
I
hard to
mean,
focus in study hall? Because everyone has different, you know.
I'm trying to figure out like how could you. I mean, I guess like sometimes you have like certain people like they have trouble focusing on certain things. Like they may get distracted and be like, oh, I just can't
Mhm.
like put my phone down, maybe, or maybe they just like their girlfriend's texting them and stuff, and they just can't put the phone down or something like that, or they just got this Twitter update or something, or they see something and they just have to look at it. I think that might be what he means.
But even then, that might be an overall focus. That's not like a study hall. 'Cause at home, it'll be worse. At study hall, you're getting, you're kind of being watched a bit, and you're still distracted. So it's going to be tough for you because man, I think me like being able to still focus, and I guess you can work on that. Being able to still focus in different environments are actually big because you're not going to be if you need complete silence. I mean, you can work around if you need complete silence, like dead silence when you focus, but you may run into some problems because it's always not going to be the most ideal situation to study. I know for me, I was studying like physics. I studied before a game. I'd be in the locker room. People were doing other stuff. I was studying. I studied before we went out. I was just reading. I was just doing stuff, but like, but
Hey,
it's
that's
like
what you got to do.
yeah, because I'm a laid back guy, man. I'm not all that. I don't need to be all that rowdy before the game. I'm like quiet. I'm locked in. You know.
Wait,
I know.
so let me rewind real quick. You said physics.
Yeah.
Oh, you would have been my best friend in high school because when I took
Uh,
physics, oh dear God, that was tough. I used to hate the thing with the little marble ball and then the
yeah,
bowling ball,
yeah,
like when you drop them
yeah.
both at the same time. I used to hate that.
Mhm,
I thought I had to take that to get into grad school.
mhm,
And then when I went for my visit, and then they crossed it off and told me I didn't need it for my doctorate. I was like, oh, thank God. I was like, thank you, God. I don't need this.
Well, the biggest thing, I think physics is the same as a lot of courses. Not a lot, but it is tougher. But like remembering formulas, man, and why they're like that. Because sometimes they'll take away this but give you this. But
Mm-hmm.
with bowling balls and this other thing, I would say the only, I'm not gonna say the only, but the biggest difference is like, okay, it might measure like, I don't know, speed, how fast something drops, and then the only thing that's gonna change, I'm gonna say only thing, but one thing that's gonna change is the mass of the ball, and then it's gonna have a bigger number, so you're gonna get a bigger number in your answer, or a faster number, if that makes sense. So
Mm-hmm.
the ball that's 100 pounds is gonna get multiplied by something, and it's gonna be 200 miles per hour, and the smaller ball is gonna be 20, and you multiply it, and the equation is gonna be 50 miles an hour. The thing with the most mass is gonna end up being the faster one, just because it's multiplied by a bigger number, for instance. So I think, man, that's why I say you have to sometimes look at it to understand it, because man, they might give you the mass and the practice questions, and they take out that mass, and you look at it and test like, whoa, I did not do any of this. When really the equation is just flipped, and all you had to, they already gave you the answer, and if you divided it instead of multiplying it, you would have got the size of the ball. Like, so they try to play tricks on you like that, man. And that's why I always was so big on understanding it instead of just memorizing.
Yeah, because the guy who taught me in high school, he went to Notre Dame, and he was like an honor student at Notre Dame and everything. And I was like, I'm just going through this. He treated that class like we were college kids and stuff. Like if you were acting crazy in class, he'd tell you to get out, or he would just move on without you even understanding and stuff. Like, and I just showed up and did the best I could. I got through it. That I will say, like, physics was it wasn't my forte. Now anatomy and like all the other stuff, like I could work with you in that. Like I'll go look at a cadaver lab with you and everything, and tell you like what muscle is that and everything. But get that physics out, boy.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, you get a little mathematics, and you got to put a little bit more time, like and not even just tutoring, because it'll be times, man. On Monday, I'm clueless. I seen this in class the first time. I'm clueless. By Friday, I feel so much like smarter. Like, dang, how did I not notice that? Like, 'cause you don't know what's what on Monday. Then, I got a lot of help. I got a bunch of help. One thing about me, I wasn't gonna be like unprepared. Like, if I know I don't know it, I'm spending that much more time on it. Because
Yeah.
man, yeah. I mean, it can be tough. It can be tough.
Yeah, it can. All right, let's see. What do we got here? Okay, so this is about Saturday. So I could see FAMU playing its best game Saturday, but to win, the team must keep it very close, 7 or less in the first half, tied or having a lead preferred. Then someone said, I don't think we are strong enough defensively to force them to pass. Our front six is just too small, just my opinion. Hope I'm wrong. Yeah, I mean, I feel like you're going to have to force them to pass it. They're going to pound the rock, because they've seen, Southern had success doing it despite losing. The only team that really didn't have a whole lot of success doing it was Alcorn, but Alcorn's a bad football team. Alabama State, NC Central, both those teams had success running the football. Let's see here. Someone say also the biggest disadvantage for us is our special teams comparison. That we will break the game wide open. I'm screaming right now on Tuesday, coach, keep the ball in bounds if the kicker can't make I guess keep it out of bounds. Oh, out of the end zone. Okay, I see. Out of the end zone. Also punt deep out of bounds. I'd say coffin corner more so than punt deep out of bounds. Because, I mean, if you can coffin corner it and really perfectly inside of the 5, that's great. Or even inside the 20, make them, have to march 80 yards.
Yeah, I think for us, we can't just. Yeah, our front seven is. I don't know if we're too small or not. Like I didn't really look that deep into it, but man, just holding your gaps, like being fundamentally sound, man. Just don't get out schemed. Like if we know what we're doing enough to where we can go 100%, we're not out there guessing. We should be good. We can force some turnovers. Like at the end of the day, we're gonna have to play some ball. So I think, man, I think if we do our jobs, if we're prepared, the size shouldn't be a problem if we know what we're doing. But we'll see a lot of that. You think like, okay, these people are bigger than these people. They're just running all over them. Sometimes it can get like that if the game gets out of hand, especially with momentum. But man, if we're prepared for what they're gonna do, we should be able to, cause some resistance.
Yeah, no, I agree. Let's see. Oh, wait, okay. Because they know they will try to stack the box. They will come out with trips, twins, both sides, spread us out. Say our 6 versus your 6, who can stop us? One thing I took away from it is like with Southern had a lot of success hitting drag routes over the middle, shallow crossing routes and everything. So someone is going to have to, you're going to have to take that away, because I guarantee you they're going to try to get Nate Rembert the ball off of drag routes, speed option, any type of look. They're going to try to get him the ball out in space. But yeah, you just, you're going to have to come with a plan. Going to have to. Is Jackson State bringing their band? I don't even know. My thing is, you're going from Vegas to Tallahassee. Or you're going, well, no, let me recap. You're going from Vegas back to Jackson to Tallahassee. That's a lot. I'm still in the mindset of I'll believe it when I see it. Me personally. Let's see. Oh, this is another one for you regarding class. This is about trigonometry. The most complex formula I'll do is one for trigonometry. After that, leave me alone.
Man, like I said, even formulas are just about remembering them, man. I think, like I said, just understand them, because if you have to remember everything, man, it's just not gonna work. But yeah, formulas, man, formulas make or break. And math, man, they make or break you, man. So I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, no, I used to mind dump. I don't know about you, but I used to mind dump before a test on like a scratch sheet of paper and just write those formulas out. And then like I would read and plug in, and then I would just go from there and everything. Because that I was like, that's the only way I'm gonna get through. And then it's like, you come out of the test and you see like at minimum 80%, you'd be like, oh, okay, nice.
Yeah, especially if it helps a lot, especially if you got like a partner to be with, and like, who can give you things like randomly, ask you about this and this, that, because sometimes you'll get so caught up in like you remembered a certain order and it's just muscle memory. But in the test, you're just gonna throw this. So do this. They, instead of telling you number 1, they told you number 6, and it's like, okay, it might have thrown you off. So if you can be able to still, memorize those things in random order, you should be all right, or better off.
Right. Let's see. I'm trying to think. Do we have anything else here? Oh, all right. Well, I was gonna say we have one more thing before we do close out for this evening. Here we go. So yeah, usually me and Bishop, we give our takeaways. Bishop's not here, so I'll just go ahead and give my takeaways as well from Sunday. Then we'll go ahead and wrap up. Let's see. Well, first, 2 questions. One, this is okay. So this is for you, Hans. Which road trip did you dread the most from a travel standpoint? And 2, which MEAC team had the worst visitors locker room?
Uh, hmm, I'm trying to remember because visitors' locker room they suck. Visitors' locker room suck.
Let me bring
I
the
want
question
to
back up.
I want to say maybe Delaware State. We
Yeah,
didn't
I'm
even
not
have locker
surprised.
room. We didn't have locker. It was just like a couple benches, and you had to get ready. Like a lot of locker rooms are like some. I think that one didn't even have a locker room. That was just a couple. So maybe Delaware State. I'm not. I don't even remember
That's
for sure.
crazy. They at least have like a woman's locker room they can give you or something temporarily.
Nah, and it'd be
Like
like your stuff would just be laid out, kind of like on the benches or whatever, and however you can get it. Like it'd be crazy. And which road
that's
trip?
crazy.
So I don't know road trip as far as conference or out of conference. I know we took that bus ride to Arkansas before. That's the game I got here, but uh, any type of bus rides that were long, I didn't really like. I like the plane rides. Conference play. Who did we drive? What was the first drive I did? Arkansas. I just know Arkansas was long. That was like
Oh, he said
that was
conference.
conference. Hmm. We flew to NT. Flew to maybe just going to the I guess Carolinas. I just anything that's far like a long bus ride is just great. So anything in the Carolinas, if we had to go, I think I flew to North Carolina, so it was maybe South Carolina State. We went, we drove. Uh, I don't, yeah, maybe South Carolina State or like or one of the schools in North Carolina. Honestly, for me, it was a business trip, so I think we didn't really see much, especially where we didn't really see much, too much like outside for me to be like, okay,
Mhm.
I hate this, like I don't like this town. But yeah, I'll say maybe South Carolina State. But the only reason it would be one of the other schools if we actually drove there. Some schools were just too far, like Delaware State would have been worse if we actually had to drive. We flew. So that's that. But any game that we're on a bus for a long time, I hate it. I can't get comfortable on buses.
Hey, I'm sure, man. Cause I'm thinking like y'all got to go, especially if you're not going down. You got to go back toward. If you're going north, you got to go back down 10, like you're going to Jacksonville, and
Mm,
then loop back around and get on 75 and head north.
mm,
Like, oh my
yes.
god, like you got to go
Yeah.
back to go up.
Yeah.
That's just
Coastal was pretty coastal. Well, no, that's not a conference game, but yeah, South Carolina State, North Carolina's. I think we flew, so I'm not really. I don't have any hard time with North Carolina. I think one of the North Carolinas. I wasn't there that year, but Point. I think they drove there. But yeah, any conference road trip, the furthest drive always. Uh, we're usually in and out, so the experience there is not really matters. It's just a business trip, but like any type of long road trips.
mm.
Yeah.
And then one last one here from Alyssa. She says, "What do you miss most about FAMU?"
Mm, I think I think the thing I miss the most, I'm so used to like big cities. Like I stay in a big city, but at FAMU, like something being 15 minutes was pretty far. Just how like everything that I needed or wanted within the city was pretty close, and like I guess like the family like aspect of family, like everyone was pretty much looking out for each other in that
Mm,
aspect. So it was pretty. I guess the family aspect and how close everyone was and how close everything was is way
mhm.
different than I guess the real world. But in college you need that support, so I think it fared well for me. Uh, but in my opinion, what do you think for in your opinion? What?
I mean, for me, I'd say, what do I miss most about FAMU? I'd say, just, the family again, like you said, man, you going to homecomings and stuff, now like you see it and everything, like the togetherness and stuff. You see so many people like generations of people and stuff, and just like recollecting with those people, like
Yeah.
for me, especially like, seeing my mom's like classmates and stuff, because they had their reunion, like the freshman class of 80. Yeah, freshman class of 80. Like they had their reunion and everything. So like seeing and meeting all those people, and then like seeing and meeting and knowing now how many of those people live in the Tampa Bay area and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, like that was a large part of it. And then like even just me wearing, because like they had like these shirts that they were selling like when Charlie Ward and all them were down here for like, because the Rays had like FAMU night at Steinbrenner Field. You got like a FAMU t-shirt, like a FAMU Tampa t-shirt. I wore that to convocation, dude. I got stopped by probably like 5-10 people.
That's crazy, man. I know here they had the Atlanta. I went to their Be Out Day this year. It was pretty cool, man. It's so many people, so many like family alum just everywhere, man. And it's just like you can go anywhere now, and it's like they know you went to fam. Everyone's like good with you, so I like that aspect of it, man.
Yeah, because I wanted to go to the Be Out Day that was here, but it rained that morning, so I was like, I don't know what to expect. And then like, if I'm not mistaken, it was still kind of cloudy, so I was like, yeah, I'm gonna just chill at the house, man.
Yeah.
So I was like, next year I'll go. Little baby said, I don't miss walking those hills. Sincerely, my calf muscles.
Fam was like it was. Now the hills was crazy. It was just like a grind, man. I just felt like school was just, man. That's just what it was. I felt like it was college, man. But it gets pretty hot in Tallahassee, man. Walking, it was like you'll get to class and you just sweating, like, especially if you like. I couldn't even wear outfits no more. Like, let me just put on like my gym shorts and go to class. Cause if I put on an outfit and I know I'm gonna be on campus all day, and I got practice after, like, man, like my legs, man, like, cause I need to be able to stretch walking up those hills, man, like,
Yeah.
So it was pretty crazy.
So I love my time there. Don't miss the hot weather. All right, let's get to these takeaways from this past weekend and what to look forward to this weekend, so we can get up out of here, because I know Hans doesn't want to be here all night. So as far as my takeaways goes from this past game, of course, great team win. This was a confidence builder. Again, Southern, they got their problems. You took advantage of it. You finally established a rushing attack. First time this season that FAMU's ground game went over 200, so they had 260 in total. Much needed momentum boost for next week. So this week coming, you have a little bit more confidence. And then, honestly, after what I've seen too, looking at Jackson State against Grambling, I feel like it's going to be closer than what people think. I don't think this is going to be, one-sided like how we all thought back in September. So there is an opportunity there. And then also, defense must play a lot better. That's my only criticism. Defensively, they got to play better, man. You can't. All right, this is the last one before we get up out of here. Do you guys think the SWAC should get rid of divisions? I mean, me personally, I could go either way with it. I mean, the entire college football world is getting away from divisions. Like, you've seen the Big 12 get away from it. The ACC got away from it. The SEC, with the addition of, Texas and Oklahoma, they got rid of it. I mean, the SWAC is one of the last conferences, probably the last conference still holding on to it. And then, of course, the Pac-12 is now like the Pac-2. So, I mean, if the SWAC adds more teams, like, say, a Tennessee State and maybe somebody else out there, then I do think that they'll get rid of divisions. But for right now, I mean, I can't see the traditionalist in this conference, because quite honestly, I think that this conference is, you put them out there against any other conference, this conference isn't that good. Sunbelt still has it too, I believe. Interesting. I think they might.
I don't know. I think they should get rid of it if their goal is to sell tickets. Like, say for instance, if you want back in when FAMU and Jackson State was there, I mean, you want a good turnout at the championship game. You want the two best teams to play against each other. If you want to say, if it doesn't matter, cool, it doesn't matter, keep divisions. But if you want to, like, sell tickets and get more people excited about seeing it, they probably want to see the top two teams with the best rate, because it was like FAMU, Jackson State, and no one else was even close to those two teams. They went undefeated besides those games, like within the conference. So I think, the goal is to see some good football. So yeah.
After 2 years of Willie losing the first game and going 9-2, it was pure joy to sit and watch.
Yeah. So if the goal is to get excited about the game, and you just want the two best teams to play, in my opinion, like, you just want the two best teams to play, and that's that. I think they should get rid of it. Yeah, and honestly, regardless of what's old and what's new, I think anytime you can get the two best teams to play, I think that's always the way to go.
Yeah, and I do think eventually it is going to go that way, because with time all things do change. So this whole East and West thing, I think that's going to go away, because I think they'll follow that same model the SEC has, where they'll keep a few teams that are locked in for sure to play. They'll keep them. So like the FAMU versus Southern game, that's not going anywhere. The FAMU Bethune-Cookman game, that's not going anywhere. Like that, those two games definitely won't come off the schedule. Now, who would be the third? Is it Jackson State? Probably. That would probably be FAMU's like 3 games that are locked in for sure. The rest of it may just rotate.
Yeah, and I think the Classic might be the only game that's completely, like, I know for sure, I can bet my last dollar that the FAMU and Bethune game is gonna be every year for forever.
Yeah. That
any type of Classic, even though they get like Magic, what's it called, Magic City, what do they call that?
Yeah, like Magic City, Bayou, like those games, though, like even if you do get away from divisions, those games aren't going anywhere. Like FAMU will always play Bethune the weekend before Thanksgiving. Grambling and Southern will always play, Thanksgiving weekend. Alabama A&M, Alabama State, they'll always play, like middle of October or whenever they play. So like those games are for sure locks. And then even, the Southern Jackson State game, like I think that's not going anywhere. So like even if you do get rid of divisions, I think, Southern for sure keeps Jackson State on the schedule, and same with Jackson State. But yeah. So with that being said, folks, yeah, that's all we got for this evening. Hans, I appreciate you joining us, man. Definitely.
Appreciate you for having me, man. I'll come back on, man. Just let me know. I'll be more than happy to come and talk.
Definitely, man. And I'll as soon as we get off of here, I will send you that information regarding the players form for like sideline access this weekend as well too. So definitely get you that as well. I know I've sent it to Ryan, I sent it to Marcus, I sent it to Bishop. I know Bishop's moving right now as well, but definitely, man. So
okay, yeah, appreciate that.
Of course, man. And for all of you guys out there, again, make sure y'all tune in tomorrow night. Run and Gun Podcast live at 8 p.m. Me, Ace, Mr. Sasser, talking about it all. And then, of course, let me change that time, because that's not the time. Countdown to Kickoff live Saturday. Not sure what time yet. There will not be a post-game recap. Just letting y'all know, win, lose, or draw, that ain't happening. But thank you. Appreciate it, man.
Appreciate that.
Yep. But as always, folks, y'all stay safe, stay blessed. We will see you tomorrow night.